You know, sometimes the most revealing government documents aren't top-secret memos. They're public lists, hiding in plain sight. And if you know how to read them, they can tell you everything about a country's priorities, its challenges, and its vision for the future. So, let's dive into one.
So, what are we looking at here? This is an official government document from India. It's the list of 260 projects that are allowed under the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, or MGNREGS. At first glance, okay, it looks like a spreadsheet. Kind of dry. But when you look closer, this is so much more than just bureaucracy. It's a blueprint for a nation. So, how do we decode it?
All right, here's how we're going to break this whole thing down. First, we'll get a handle on what this list even is. Then, we'll look at the key ways it's divided up. After that, we'll explore its really clear focus on the environment, dig into the story of water, and finally, we'll put all those pieces together to see the grand plan.
Okay, Section 1. What exactly is this list? The best way to think about it isn't as a rigid set of rules, but more like a giant menu of possibilities that's available to villages all across India. So, the basic idea behind the whole scheme is pretty straightforward. It guarantees rural families 100 days of paid, unskilled work. But what kind of work? Well, that's where this list comes in. It's the menu. Local governments can pick and choose from these 260 approved projects to create jobs that also develop their local area.
So now that we know what it is, let's start digging in. The first and maybe most fundamental way to organize this list is to ask a really simple question. Who's it for?
The works are basically split into two big buckets. On one side, you've got projects that help out a single person or a single family. Let's call those assets for individuals. And on the other side, you have the bigger stuff, the shared infrastructure that everyone in the community gets to use.
And this is a perfect example. Check this out. On the left, you see item number 216, construction of goat shelter for individuals. Simple, right? It directly helps a specific family's livelihood. But then on the right, you've got item number 4, construction of Grand Panchayat Bhavan, which is a village administrative building. One is for you, the other is for us. As simple as that.
All right, let's peel back another layer. As you start scanning through all 260 items, another pattern just jumps right out at you. There is a huge focus on the environment. The official term for it is Natural Resource Management, or NRM for short.
Now, what's so cool about this is that we don't even have to guess what NRM means. That definition isn't ours, it's right there in the document's own key. It officially defines NRM as projects that deal with things like irrigation, drainage, soil health, and forestry. So this isn't us just interpreting it. This is a stated goal of the entire program.
And you really don't have to hunt for the evidence. Just look at this column in the actual list. Every single one of the 260 works gets tagged as either NRM or non-NRM. That tells you everything, doesn't it? Environmental thinking isn't some add-on. It's baked right into the DNA of this scheme. So, what kind of work does NRM actually cover? Well, it mostly falls into a few big categories. A massive chunk is for soil and water conservation. Think building little earthen walls, called bunds, to stop soil from washing away. Then you have a whole bunch of water and irrigation projects, a huge focus on forestry and planting trees and other general land development. And that brings us to what might be the most powerful story hidden in this entire document. I mean, if NRM is a major theme, then water. Water is the main character. Think about it. Out of 260 possible projects, more than 60 of them are all about water. But here's the thing. It's not just a random jumble of 60 projects. No way. When you line them all up, they tell a complete story. It's a full-on strategy for managing water. And it's a story that unfolds in 3 parts. Okay, so part 1 of the story, it's all about moving water, about conveyance. It's about getting water from point A to point B, wherever it's needed for farming or just for daily life. And you can see it right here in items 36 through 51. Construction of distributary canal, construction of minor canal, landing of water courses. It's all about distribution.
Then comes part 2, slowing the water down. You know, in many parts of the world, the rain comes down hard and fast, and then it's just gone. So the strategy here is to hold on to it. Check out items 69 through 81. You see earthen check dam, boulder check dam, gabion check dam. These are all different kinds of structures designed to do one thing: slow the runoff so that precious water can soak into the ground.
And that leads us to the final act of our water story, storage. This is all about water security for the long haul. And here we see projects like item 183, construction of community water harvesting ponds, and 178, construction of mini percolation tank. It's a brilliant, complete cycle. Move it where you need it, slow it down so you don't lose it, and save it for later.
Okay, so let's pull the camera back now. Let's zoom out. We've seen how the list is split between what's good for one person versus what's good for everyone. We've uncovered this huge focus on natural resource management, and we've walked through the incredibly detailed strategy for water. So, what does this all add up to?
Well, what it reveals is that this thing that looks like a boring government list, it's not that at all. It's actually a really sophisticated, multi-layered strategic plan. It's a blueprint, not just to give people jobs, but to systematically build more resilient communities, both economically and environmentally, right from the ground up.
And this table here just pulls it all together perfectly. The strategy is to support people's livelihoods, boom, there's your cattle shed. To build up community assets, yep, there's your village road. To improve the local environment, hello, planting trees. And to make sure there's water for the future. And that's where the check dam comes in. Every single one of those 260 items is designed to hit one or more of these big strategic goals.
So this document, it gives us the what, the official plan right there on paper. And it's a pretty remarkable vision. But of course, a plan is just the beginning. The real question, the one that goes way beyond this document, is all about the how. You know, how well is this blueprint actually being put into practice out there in the real world? And that's a thought to leave you with.